So from here, we're going to be looking at using unit circle. So we created our unit circle from all of our previous reference triangles that we used. So we did that by looking at those side links that we found in the previous video and use those to find our coordinates. So those coordinates actually tell us a whole lot about using the unit circle to solve any trig function on the unit circle. And so in order to do that, there is a few things we need to remember. So anytime we're looking for a cosine of an angle on the unit circle, it is going to be our x coordinate. Anytime we are looking for the sine of an angle on our unit circle, it will be our y coordinate. Tangent will be our x over y. Oops, I lied. That is not it. It is y over x. Or you can think of that as sine over cosine. And for our reciprocal identities, cosine's reciprocal is secant. So secant will be 1 over x. Or you can think about that if x is already a fraction, you can just flip x. Sine's reciprocal is cosecant. So it'd be 1 over y. Again, if y is already a fraction, you can just flip it. And then cotangent, which is tangent's reciprocal, will be x over y. Or cosine over sine. And so we're actually going to use this on our unit circle to solve for these questions below. So let's look. So for sine of 330, we're going to find 330, which is right here, and we're going to look at the coordinate it's attached to. And for sine, we take our y coordinate, so in this case it will be negative 1/2. And that is our answer. That is all we have to do. The most complicated ones we will deal with is cotangent and tangent. The reason being is both of those have two fractions involved in them. So let's do tangent of 210 now. So tangent of 210, we got to find 210 here. So I'm going to look at this coordinate. So tangent is y over x. It'll be negative 1/2 over negative square root of 3 over 2, which we can't leave it as a fraction over a fraction. So we keep our top term, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the bottom. We can cancel the 2's, and negative times a negative is going to cause it to be positive, so it'll be 1 over square root of 3. But we cannot leave the square root of 3 in the denominator. No radicals can be in our denominator, so we have to rationalize it by multiplying everything by the square root of 3. So 1 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 3 over 3 times 3, which would be the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which is the square root of 9, which is 3. And that is our solution. So we just use our unit circle to answer these. So we're going to look at a few more examples. So let's look at tangent of 300. So tangent of 300 first. Find 300. It's here. So we look at this coordinate. And tangent is y over x. And so from there, we keep the top, change the sign, flip, those cancel, and we get negative square root of 3 over 1. But the square root of 3 over 1 is just the square root of 3. So it'd be negative square root of 3 as our answer. And we can do the same thing with 4. So cosine of 135, find 135. Look at our coordinate. Cosine is x, so this will just be negative square root of 2 over 2 as our answer. We can already do sine of 272 right where we're looking at it. Find 270. It is down here, so we're looking here. Look at our y coordinate, which is negative 1. Just like that. Let's do cosine of 11 pi over 6 as well. So we find 11 pi over 6, and we're going to look at this coordinate. So cosine will be square root of 3 over 2 as our solution. Then let's do the next view. to see what I can do here. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. I know y'all don't want to watch me have to mess with the technology, but gotta do what we gotta do. Sorry, y'all. If you're watching this video, I apologize. Okay. Now let's look at these. So cosecant of pi, here is pi, and cosecant will be 1 over y, which is 0. We cannot divide by 0, so this is undefined. And that is our answer. The next one here is 3 pi over 2. Find 3 pi over 2. Cosine is x, so this will just equal 0. That's our answer. Cotangent of pi, so we go to pi, look at our coordinate. Cotangent is x over y, so it'll be negative 1 over 0, which we cannot do, which will make that undefined as our answer. Then let's do secant of 210. So 210, find it. Look at our coordinate. Secant is 1 over x. So it will be 1 over negative square root of 3 over 2, which is the same thing as saying negative 2 over square root of 3, which we can't leave that square root in the denominator, so we're going to multiply everything by the radical and get negative 2 root 3 over 3. There we go. And now we're going to flip to the back. So let me go ahead and move this with us.
Hey, tomorrow. Don't forget.
Good. Because I probably would.
I'm probably going to set an alarm tonight.
Sorry about that. Let us resume. Okay, so for tangent of 5 pi over 6, we're going to go to 5 pi over 6, which is here. So we're going to look at this coordinate. So tangent is y over x. So we simplify that. We take the numerator, and we multiply it by the reciprocal of the denominator. So those cancel, and we get negative 1 over square root of 3. Multiply by our radical. So we get negative square root of 3 over 3 as our answer. Sine of 120. We find 120. Look at the y coordinate. Do the square root of 3 over 2. And that is our answer. For the rest of these, we actually have some angles on here to look at. So I'm actually going to shrink this just a little bit more. We'll zoom in if we need it. And so for cosine of 90 degrees, okay, 90 degrees is already on our unit circle. So that's where we're looking. And so we're going to look at this coordinate. So cosine of 90 is just 0. That is all we got to do for that problem. Now for secant of 300, again, 300 is on our unit circle. It is down here. So for secant of 300, okay, look at our x coordinate. It'll be 1 over 2, which is the same thing as 2 over 1, which is just 2. This is where it starts getting a little bit different, is here we have coterminal angles. So the angles start and stop at the same place. And in order to find the coterminal angles that are on our unit circle, we add or subtract 360 until we get something on our unit circle. So we can take negative 585, and we're going to add 360 to it till it's something on our unit circle. So that gives us negative 225. We have a positive 225, but not a negative. So I'm going to add 360 again, and we are going to get positive 135. So we're actually finding cosecant of 135. So for cosecant of 135, we take 1 over our y coordinate, which is the same thing as saying 2 over square root of 2, multiply everything by the radical. We get 2 times the square root of 2 over 2. Those cancel, and it is just the square root of 2. For the next one, we have negative 960. So if we take negative 960 and we add 360 to it, we get negative 600. So again, I'm going to add positive 360 to it again. And that gives us negative 240. So I'm going to do it again. And that is going to equal 120. So I'm actually finding cotan of 120 degrees. So I've got to find that on my unit circle, 120, use these points. Cotangent is x over y, which will be the negative 1/2 times 2 over square root of 3. So we get negative 1 over root 3, which rationalize the denominator. And we get negative square root 3 over 3 as our answer. Then for our last two problems, let's go ahead and move our unit circle down so we can see it. For this first one, super, super easy. It's just asking for sine of 315. 315 is right here, so we look at our y-coordinate. So this one is going to be negative square root of 2 over 2. Then last but not least, we have tangent of negative 45. Negative 45 is not on our unit circle. So we're going to say negative 45 plus 360, and we are going to get 315. So we are going to find tangent of 315 degrees. So I'm going to look at this coordinate. I'm going to say our y over our x. Anything divided by itself is 1. If one of those is negative, it makes it negative 1, and that is our answer. And so that is our how to use the unit circle lesson. Again, sorry for the interruption in the middle.